Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about Ascension, maybe possibly twin flames, about people who are experiencing grief or loss or are in a holding pattern because they are single in their midlife, or they got divorced, or they got separated from a long term relationship and are feeling a loss currently. So, what is ascension? Ascension is essentially all of us trying to let go of certain ways of living that aren't serving us, that aren't bringing us joy, that aren't bringing us happiness. And collectively, humanity has to do that in a collective scale, so that we can ascend to a better quality of living and health on earth. And it's not just better quality health for humanity, but it's also better quality health for all planetary life forms, because humans can't survive if we don't have other plants, animals, birds, bees to give us the food, the nutrition, the nourishment, the nurture that Mother Earth and its other creatures provide to humanity. So that's why Ascension is not simply about humanity, it is also about Earth and all other earthly life forms. And each of us, when we are in the Ascension journey, we have all been on the Ascension journey right now. Anyone who's still alive on Earth is part of the Ascension journey. So, as part of the ascension journey, there are many life lessons we might have learned already in our 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of our life. And based on those life experiences now, we have to decide what are those life experiences that have been harming our health. It could be our physical health that got harmed, financial health that could have been harmed, psychological health that could be harmed, mental health that is in uh, distress, or emotional health that is not getting fulfilled. So there are various aspects of health that have been going wrong on earth. Why? Because when humanity starts disconnecting from what is the naturally aligned way of life, both for them individually and for how they exist with their partners or family or social circle or in their work life, or how they view other planetary creatures and other um, life forms on earth, determines our level of connection or disconnection from the world. And the people who are more connected to earth, more aligned with different human beings, more aligned with pets and plants and other planetary creatures, they are more likely to be aligned with the ascension process. Because the deeper we connect to any human being, deeper we connect to any plant, deeper we connect to any pet, we are bringing a level of depth of love in our life that is needed for humans to have a better quality life and health. But now, if say you are a human who lives in Europe or America, where you never felt the need for a partner, but now your soul is calling for you to have a partner, and so far you were okay living as a loner, exploring the world, um, going on world tours, or being busy with your work. But somehow something happened that is shifting you, changing you, and you're realizing you're very lonely. Why is that happening? That is happening because your aspects of connection to the world is possibly right now not as strong as it used to be when you were younger. The things that you used to value when you were younger might not be the things that you will eventually value when you reach middle age or when you are getting older. Because when we are younger, we are valuing things that our parents taught us should be valued. We are valuing things that were missing in our life when we were growing up. But when you gain a certain level of maturity and wisdom, you will also realize that what your parents were valuing, while some of it is really needed, there are also some additional things that the new generation has to bring in on earth. And that's why many men and women who might have had a great career, because in their past their parents told them to focus on a career. In their past, while they're growing up, they saw that financial independence was a problem or finances were a problem in their family life. As a result, those who saw that as a main struggling factor for their parents or grandparents or other family, or even in their social circle, just because everyone is earning money, people decide that is the main primary focus of our life. And and that's what many people do, which is necessary, that some financial independence is always needed for currently on this life on earth. We need the independence to be able to splurge on things we love, to be able to travel if we love traveling, to be able to go and buy that car that we aspire to buy, to go and buy a house for ourselves or our parents. But if we are only leading life where we are only being the provider for self and not to anyone else, it leads to a great disconnection from our purpose of living on earth. Majority of us are not built to be loners. So even the loner person, you will observe, if they're traveling, they'll be talking and chattering with everyone because they love interacting socially with people. That's how they have decided to absolve some of the needs that they have in their soul to connect meaningfully with others, which they may not have in their personal life because they don't have a partner or they don't have a strong family life. But because of the fact that they don't have a strong family life, they don't have a partner, the outward expression of that need to connect with humanity or connect with others gets expresses via either the work we do with many people, or via after work, if some people are traveling, the traveling they are doing and interacting socially with others. Then there are others who also have a pet, who love raising plants. So while they may not have strong, deeper social connections in their family life, they may even have a family, but they're disconnected from their family. So that kind of existence is also there on earth currently, where people have been married for 20, 30 years, but their marriages aren't happy, their marriages aren't that deep, soulful connection that they are meant to be in. Or they, and because one or both partners don't know how to form this deep connection, and as a result, some of those people might be in marriages where they have pets that they take care of like their family, or they love growing plants and do gardening to fill this void in their soul of deep love that they are seeking. And this deep love is needed. We are needed as part of the ascension process, to not just love self, but we also need to love another. And if we have already another in our life, we have to love them at a deeper level. If we already have a spouse and some kids, we have to learn to love them and accept also love from them at a deeper level, because some of us who have grown in cultures and societies where for many decades, women and men both haven't learned how to ask for love or how to receive love. They've only been giving, they haven't been receiving. So it's time for some of those givers to also understand how to receive love, also understand how to ask about receiving love. Because if you taught, say you're a mother who's in her 40s and you have 2 3 kids, while you learned as a part of being a mother, you have this maternal energy to give to your kids, to feed your kids, to nourish your kids, to nurture your kids, to help your kids with with their studies, to help them while they are having some social difficulties. Different mothers do different things with their kids. And but because we live independent lives, we are living in nuclear families where only father, mother, and children are present. But it's time now to build it and into a wider family. We just don't stay as a nuclear family of a father, mother, and a few kids. You try, if you've already um, uh, mastered how to be a great, functional, loving, and caretaking family for each other. Now it's the time to widen your circle to be a good family for someone in your social circle who might not have good family, someone in your own family who might be lonely, like you could have a widowed parent, widowed uncle, widowed aunt. Maybe you have to bring them into your social circle in some ways, even though you may not have thought about them for many years. Maybe it's time to think about them now. Or like, and every one of us will be ascending and waking up our consciousness towards doing something a little bit more expansive about love than we have done before. So it doesn't mean that you have to take care of that sick uncle or that lonely aunt or that mother-in-law or the father-in-law who is alone now, because after COVID many people are also are single because their partners died or their children died. Or so if you don't want to help someone in your family, look at your neighbors. Is there some neighbor who has a child who died and now they need caretaking because they are elderly and they don't have any other kids? You can do that. If you are single, that is the time when you have the opportunity, before you can find a life partner, to build more meaningful social relationships. Because this is where I am right now in my life. I'm talking about singleness. When I was dating, uh, at the time, every time I wanted a deeper connection, it wasn't happening because those men were not ready for the deeper connection. If a man felt a deeper sexual and heart-based connection with me, if they were unhealed, or if they were very popular, and or if both was happening with them where they are popular also and they are unhealed also, this deep level connection scares those men. There were other men who had lesser salary than me, that brought within them an insecurity that they have to first earn more salary than me before they can decide to marry someone like me. So that also happened. Or if someone, I did marry someone who was earning lesser salary than me, he was okay with me earning more salary, because in their family also the mother was earning but the father was retired and hence not earning at that time. So he had seen that for a few years in his life, where the woman was earning more, right, and she was being the provider. But what was not there in their life, and which resulted in my eventual divorce, is that if you have a independent woman as your spouse, the woman, and maybe someone who's also in some ways more knowledgeable about certain things in life than you are, which doesn't mean that you don't have knowledge in other areas of life. Anyone we meet in our life will always be in some ways complementary to us. If we start dating someone, if we are but if it is a life lesson related relationship you are meant to be in, you will stay with them for a long time so that you can learn from them and they can learn from you. If you were both unhealed, because when I talked about any of these past relationships of mine, at those stages I was unhealed, they were unhealed. As a result, also we triggered each other. I had insecurities, they had insecurities. I had traumas, they had traumas. But our traumas and insecurities were slightly complementary. That's why we attracted each other. And we had the space and time, we had the opportunity to learn from each other from those past traumas. But that could have only happened if a deeper level of love could have manifested with them. but that didn't happen because every time a deeper level of love could have manifested, they got scared. One person got scared, another person got distracted, another person got, and these are all the things called the adversaries or the devil. The devil will, every time you have a potential to have a good relationship with someone, even if you don't have a potential to have a long term good relationship, say you had the potential to have even a short term few years good quality relationship with someone, to learn something more about deeper way of loving, at the time the devil comes into picture. The devil will come and trigger us. The devil will come and tell us that you're not worthy, and someone who's feeling deeper emotions that they never felt for anyone else in their life when they were growing up might wish to run. Someone who has compatibility with you might start feeling too secure in the relationship to understand or not understand that while there is security in a relationship in the initial bubble phase of a relationship, to really truly build depth in a relationship and truly make each other feel secure with each other, you have also got to see the dark side of the other person, understand if the dark side is compatible with you. And I'm not saying the dark cruelty based side. If you're seeing someone's cruelty based side manifesting more with you, then obviously it is not a good relationship. It won't be a healthy balanced relationship or harmonious or joyful relationship, and you will just keep adding stress to your life. So it's a good decision if you see that this relationship is adding stress and doesn't give respect, doesn't give um, good compatibility or harmony within your life, to reject those relationships. And which is what happened. Like, if a relationship which can have a potential to go to a better direction, if both partners being unhealed or having some childhood traumas need to heal from each other, heal through having a relationship with each other, but they are not able to learn that lesson, God will eventually also, be it God, be it the devil, something will happen that will cause people to fracture the relationship, because one or both will feel they are not worthy of it, or they are not able to handle the stress of the relationship, or handle the darkness present within that relationship, or handle the light present in the relationship, because many of these are the things that causes our past relationships or have caused our relationships to break down and fall apart. But when we are separated from a partner, divorced from a partner, living life of solitude for, and have lived a life of solitude for many years or decades of our life, it is also time, if you are awakening to the soul need to have a life partner, to have more human connections, to understand what is it in those past relationships that made it fail, what is it within you, because most of the time when relationships fail, we decide, oh, it was about this person's drama, or this person's clinginess, or this person's too much outgoing nature with friends and not investing so much in our home life, or this person's pursuit of career than focusing on family life too. These are the reasons we as women might give when something didn't work out. Or we could have also had partners who never invested financially in anything, even we were also earning and they are also earning, so that could be a bone of contention. So all these things have happened to us in a past relationship to give a some perspective on how things have gone wrong with our relationship. But if we only hold a perspective of how someone else harmed us, someone else abused us, someone else was narcissistic towards us, someone else didn't meet our needs, then we are only looking at a relationship from a taker's perspective. But in order to become a fully developed individual and a mature adult, and also an adult who wants a deeper relationship to manifest in the future, you have to also view the lens of those past relationships with the lens of self examination, and understanding what is it about us that made the relationship harder to sustain, what is it that we can do in a newer relationship, slightly different from what we did in the past, that didn't make it work, or that made it dysfunctional, or that made it toxic for us? Were we also, when we have experienced some form of narcissism or abuse from someone else, it's also true that we have also been showing some degree of narcissism and abuse towards them as well. It's just that our self awareness first develops in seeing them, because they are like a mirror in front of us. When you stand in front of the mirror, you are able to see yourself, but in an opposite way, right? So a mirror gives you an opposite reflection, so there is something opposite in them that is complementing something in you, which ends up making something very toxic. And if you were in front of a mirror that is complementary to you, then every time they show up something that is wrong within the relationship, or you show to them that is something wrong within the relationship, both partners would be willing and ready to work through those places where the relationship is challenging. Um, Also, another thing that happens in many relationships when women have decided to divorce their partners is because the partners may be too involved in their work life, not ready to have a family life, and not understanding. Many men don't understand this because they have seen their fathers also just completely just being focused always in work, being just the financial provider. So many men think that is what is the thing they should aspire to, just being the financial provider. Some men do not even want to be the financial provider, because if their wife is also working, they have forgotten how to be a provider at any level, which is a main social problem if you don't become a provider for your spouse. And there are also many women who are now independent, that's why they can provide for themselves. Now those women have to learn how to be a provider and caretaker, and have a partner who will be a provider and caretaker. This is the next level of ascension for women and men who have a career, who have a work life and good quality professional life, and who want to build good, deeper relationships. But in building a deeper relationship, how you invested in your career, how you plan for your future career goals, you have to also jointly plan like that, a life plan, life goal with your partner. If you don't plan those life plans, or have some life goals, and every week or every day or every year aspire to doing something together with your spouse that builds a deep, meaningful connection within the relationship, how will you stay happy and content with each other? Um, in Ascension, many people have also been gravitating towards religion and understanding religious way of life. Why? Because every religion teaches us how to have this better, stronger connection with another person, our spouses, with our society, with our culture, with God. The main purpose of religion is to connect deeply to God. And how does God love us? God loves us both when we are in the dark, when we are in the light, when we are happy, when we are sad. God is always with us because God is omnipresent and present everywhere. So, because God is present everywhere, God is always present with us. God is also, in some religions, it's said God is present within us. So, when we are devoted to God, when we are praying to God, when we are truly soulfully connected to God, what happens to us? We feel this heightened energy of peace, harmony, joy, intense emotional connection with the higher power. That love that you feel with God, if you are a spiritual person, is the same love. Or if you're not a spiritual person, if you don't believe in God, there are people who love walking in nature, trekking in nature, hiking in nature, backpacking in nature, exploring different foods and cuisines of different culture, breathing fresh air, greenery, all these things. Nature is also the God for those people who don't believe in God. So if you connect deeply and meaningfully with nature, again you get the same feeling of harmony, peace, contentment, stability, free of tension, right? So, be it you believe in God, be it you believe in nature and its healing powers, this healing that we feel from God or nature is a deep healing that happens because we become soulfully connected and deeply connected and assimilated with God's way of looking at life or nature's way of healing us, right? So like how nature is healing us, like how fresh air, clean water, fresh air refreshes us, clean water rejuvenates us. If we take a shower in the cleanest water, it's the most healing thing. If we walk in nature and everything is clean out, we have a clean earth around us, we will feel healed and refreshed immediately. If we had some work tension or other things, if you take a run in nature, we would it's the best quality run than if you were running inside a gym, right? So nature rejuvenates us, God heals us, and nature is also all around us. Nature is always around us. So if you these loves of love towards nature or love for God that heals us, brings us peace, is able to do it. Why? Because they are always present with us, always there to support us, always there to heal us, always there for us when we are in the darkness, when we are in the light. So, if you have to bring that level of peace and harmony and joy and love and depth and whatever else you seek in your love life, can you get that if you don't assimilate and merge the same way with your spouse or the person you're dating and intend for them to be your spouse? That's why, if you are in a relationship already, if you are married already, and you are starting to feel this disconnect from each other, you have to build the tools to reconnect if you don't want to break that relationship. Or if the relationship has gone to abuse levels or levels where it's not sustaining anymore, again you have to decide, should I stay, should I go? Because if you have kids, you have to also understand you're also giving the kids the stress and tension and lack of harmony when you are with a partner with whom you're not able to cohesively love each other the way you deserve to be loved. It's just that some people don't understand how to love each other the way they deserve to be loved, because first they might have to do some healing. First, both partners may have to do some healing. So, there are also many couples who, for 10-20 years, get divorced and then again get back together. But if they get back together out of simple loneliness, then it will not resolve the same problems they had 10-20 years back. But if they get back together because they understood at the deeper level what they have done wrong in the relationship, what they could do better in a relationship to build a good quality relationship, done wrong meaning where they have failed to meet the deeper level needs of their partner. If both partners realize that about each other, where they have failed, where they need to step up, how they need to step up, or they are at a level where they are able to openly and authentically communicate these needs to each other without being rejected for them, without being shunned for it, without being feeling disconnected from their partners for being authentic about their needs, then only that relationship will progress in the right way. And the reason why everyone talks about connecting to nature or connecting to God is because if you look at a balanced natural ecosystem of a rainforest, national park, garden, everything, if it is really truly balanced, there's always a equal give and take. It's not the same give and take, but it's an equal give and take, or equitable if you don't like the word equal, and if you're looking at it mathematically, it's not equal in the mathematical sense, but it's equitable in the give and take sense, balancing sense of the relationship. So even a tree in a garden, if it is a flowering plant or a flowering tree, needs the birds and bees to come and take the pollen from the flowers so that more trees can be grown if those pollen get sprinkled on the ground of the same place where the bird is as the tree is, or if the bird flies away long distances, it can go and get the pollen, can fall somewhere else, and again another tree or plant can grow there. Likewise, but what is the bird or the bee getting while it is getting this pollen? It is getting the nectar from the flower. Or if it is not a flowering plant, if it is a fruit that the bird seeks or the insect seeks, again the insect and the bird is doing some favor to the tree that some biologists already know about. Some we may be still yet discovering about what is the benefit of when a bird eats a fruit, when a insect eats a leaf, right? So all these things, there's always a, so a tree is, even though tree is stationary, and all these birds and animals who come and eat its fruits and leaves and flowers, or get honey from get the nectar from it, so that the bees can go and provide honey. And now that honey will be next beneficial not just for the bees but also a bear who loves to eat honey, right? So like that, when tree is there, it doesn't simply exist for itself. Tree is existing for other planetary creatures, and the other planetary creatures also won't be able to exist if a tree doesn't exist, because we won't be able to get the oxygen that we need, we won't be able to get the food that we need, we won't be able to get the healing that we need when we are in the presence of a clean, healthy tree. So this is also part of the ascension process. That's why that we have to keep a clean, healthy earth, clean, healthy, balanced ecosystem, in order for us to get the healing and health benefits and food and nutrition from the trees. And if not from the trees, if the plants and animals that we consume after who have consumed the tree or something from the tree, those animals or trees or grass or whatever these animals consume, when someone likes to eat meat also, you again have to have a balanced tree life, balanced ecosystem, balanced planetary system, for you to actually, an healthy planetary system of all animals and plants, so that the final animal that you're consuming, or the animal product that you're consuming like dairy, is clean, is healthy for us, right? So that is also part of ascension. That's why, so those who are awakening to a cleaner earth, their job may be to find out all the places where earth is not clean and right now, how we need to bring back the cleanliness, bring back the pure clean ecosystem and balanced health for everyone. For some who are exploring it in the family life, have to explore it in the family life. But most of us need to also realize we're not meant to be alone. So either, if you are a loner, you are either supposed to realize whether you should find a life partner for yourself. If you are a loner by choice, there are two choices that are opening up for you. One, whether you should have a life partner now who is also independently oriented just like you and will merge and mesh well with you. Or if you are not supposed to be with a life partner and you have realized that about yourself absolutely, then be open, you have to open yourself to the possibility of maybe building a community system where many single men and women can live together harmoniously as a community, where maybe you build a community system where if your inner core needs are to take care of the elderly, if that's opening up for you, then maybe you have to build something for the elderly. If what is opening up inside your soul is for building a better system for orphans, then that is what might open up for you internally. If it is regarding better health for everyone, then something related to health might open up. But again, we are not meant to be alone. Even though we might have lived 30, 40, 50 years of our life being loners, we are meant to coexist with other humans or other planetary creatures. Some of those people who are loners maybe first might need to start living a life where they are in harmony with nature, and taking care of nature might be something that opens up for them. Taking care of animals and birds might be something that opens up for them. And in taking care of animals and birds, it doesn't mean you open a pet shelter or a butterfly garden or arboretorium or something. You could do all that, but it could also, if you are getting more and more guidances on what you're supposed to do, maybe you're supposed to create a better avenue for animals and birds to coexist harmoniously in nature. Maybe you're supposed to go and do some research work in marine biology. Maybe you're supposed to do some research work as a national forest official. If you're already a national forest or national park official, what can you do better to preserve the earth that has already been existing in a national park for 20, 30, 40 years? Because of the human activities, many things in our national parks in India, in US, these are the two countries I have explored. But globally, like this, these two countries, there are many things that we have done wrong that harms actually nature in our national forests. As a result, in certain parts of Indian national parks, earlier we used to have a good tiger population. The tiger population has waned. Why? Because some national parks and national forests have a lot of chemical activities going on there which harms the local flora fauna. And a tiger can't exist if the tiger's lower ecosystem animals and birds are not existing. Those animals and birds can't exist if their lower ecosystem food systems, lower meaning just in the food chain I'm talking about, they are not lower in terms of the value they hold as a life form, but those other life forms that the birds and animals are dependent on, like the plants and the shrubs and the trees and the fruits and the flowers, if we don't raise them the right way, again they can't help. Same way in India, there are some national parks where I saw a TV video where from National Geographic or Discovery Channel, where they were showing how some animal from the national park. There was one time I've seen videos of leopards, bisons, and other larger animals who have come into the villages near to the national parks to attack the villagers for food or something. Either they have randomly attacked or they have attacked for food. Now you have to understand again, if what is the current status of many national park officials is that they either kill those animals who have attacked humans or eaten human children or cows and calves. They end up killing that animal, or they end up, if that animal hadn't done too much harm, they end up just putting a sleeping dart on the animal and then taking the animal away. But in while you have temporarily solved the problem, you haven't done the deeper problem solving, because the deeper problem solving is, if you are using a lot of pesticides and chemicals in maintaining your national parks, those chemicals are harmful to everyone, and it those chemicals have a potential to raise anxiety and anger in humans, and have the same potential to do it in animals. And if this animal is feeling agitated and anxious and angry with the chemicals in its brain, what is it going to do? It is going to go and attack someone, because it also understands intuitively the humans are the cause of this increased pollution on in their national park, in their ecosystem, in the place where they are supposed to be treated with respect. But humans haven't been treating the plants and animals in the national park with respect. So that's why a leopard comes and attacks, or a bison comes and attacks someone. So if they really want to solve this problem of a leopard not coming and eating children, or not coming and attacking them, what do they need to do? They need to make sure that the national park has a balanced ecosystem, the kind of ecosystem where you don't have to feed the animals by yourself anything. You have to let the animals feed for themselves, fend for themselves, but by making sure that the natural ecosystem is not polluted, that their air, water, food systems are not polluted. then only are not polluted to such an extent that an animal has to become angry to get the rights that it deserves as a uh, creature that is existing on earth, coexisting on earth with us. So better ways of preserving animal life, marine life, planetary life forms have to come up, because all the ways that we have done and tried in the last 10, 20 years or even centuries, some of them have been wrongful methods. But in the quest for certain things that we don't like, we forgot why those things are actually happening on earth. Like, the reason why pesticides are sprayed in the national parks is because if humans go to those national parks for tours, they will get bitten by mosquitoes and other insects. As a result, they don't want those insects and mosquitoes to be there. But if those insects and mosquitoes aren't there, the smaller animals who eat these insects, who feed on these insects, won't be there. Those animals that feed on these insects, if they are not there, then the slightly larger animals can't exist. If they are not existing or getting the food, then the larger tigers and camels and other animals can't exist. I even saw a very angry camel in one of the national parks in Rajasthan. It looked very angry. Its whole skin tone has changed. Like, camels usually that I had seen, had been to Rajasthan before also a few years back. At that time, the camels I have seen, or even sometimes in Mumbai beaches, we have camels. They are usually this tan color, like exactly kind of like this cupboard. So they usually have this tan colored texture on their skin. But this animal whole skin has darkened, like become really really black, blackened, and a much darker skin tone than this. And it likely has some cancer and other things going on in its organ damage going on in its body as a result of the chemical exposure in the area in which, in the national park in which it lives. And that's a national park, where national forest area, I guess. It's a sanctuary, it's a leopard sanctuary, but a leopard and bird sanctuary. But I saw some birds, because the pollution is still manageable possibly for those smaller birds, as they can fly away. But these larger animals and leopards have become less in that area. You can't sight them anymore, and that whole area's flora and fauna is such that it's becoming a savanna like area, desert like area, where very few animals can survive unless natural ecosystems are again brought back in balance with less chemicals all around. Because otherwise, and this darkening of the skin is the same problem that I faced when I was getting slowly towards cancerous conditions. And I was getting a thyroid storm symptoms. And in thyroid storm, what happens is you get leathery skin, and your skin starts getting darkened than normal. And this leathery skin is happening because you're exposed to some toxins. Those toxins are causing this thyroid gland and your skin also to change, and the thyroid gland is getting attacked as a result of these toxin exposures, leading to that heightened thyroid storm, right? So this is the mechanism of action of what is happening. Maybe people haven't studied this yet, but as a result of the thyroid storm, also my skin got darkened. Now, if that thyroid storm is caused by chemical pollutions and other pollutants in my body, it doesn't stay only simply with the skin. Skin is the surface area first reaction when you are getting exposed to toxins in your air, water, food. But afterwards, after you've consumed a lot of toxins in your food, that is not possible for your body to expel it out from your body via the natural biochemical processes in your body and processes of eliminating toxin, because the toxic load is so high. The same animal could develop cancer, organ damage, brain damage. Likewise, I was also starting to develop some organ damage related symptoms. and the same animal, now if it is getting organ damage, even if it is a milder animal like a camel, even that camel can become angry. I felt that this camel had this little aggressive energy in it. It wasn't like the gentle, docile camels that I have usually observed in other places. So that's, and there was another camel there in that same park who wasn't as aggressive, but I still felt there was something abnormal about the health of these camels. And likewise, same thing with any animals who attack other humans in from a national park, because if chemical load on their biological systems is high, those toxins are having internally all these damages being done to them, which is as a result physically manifests with them becoming aggressive, them searching for better quality food or searching for a food alternative if their food alternatives are all gone or poisoned or dead, right? Because if an animal has good instinct, it won't want to, even if a human has good instinct. I have a very sharp nose, that's why many a times, if unless I have a cold or a flu or something, I do not eat food if it's stale, or if it, even if I do eat food, if it is stale, I'll only eat it if it doesn't have, it doesn't seem like bacterially or microbially contaminated. If I can sense microbial or bacterial contamination, it is very hard for me to eat that food, consume that food. And I'm not really poor, that's why I can throw away food. But poor people, they can't throw away food when they don't have enough money to buy good food. That's why also many humans who are ascending and waking up to a higher purpose, if you have a higher level earning, if you are in the top echelon, 20, 30, 50% also of society in your particular neighborhood or city or country, then it is high time you awaken or start awakening. Your soul is also going to start making you feel anxiety, depression, or some emotional health, or spiritual calling will start happening to you. Because uh, part of ascension is this: those who can take care of those who don't have enough money to take care of themselves or bring clean food, good food in their lives, it's their job that those who are privileged can start doing something for those who do not have access to good clean food. The privileged can purchase good clean food, but the people who aren't privileged or are living as a daily wage worker, they can afford only that which is available to them, right? So, and that availability of low quality food can only be shifted if slowly we start investing in keeping our food quality as pristine as possible, as healthy as possible, as nutritious as possible. Then only we can have a balanced society, a healthy society, right? So that's also part of the ascension process, part of connecting deeply with our purpose as a human on earth, connecting deeply with our purpose as a human with certain privileges on earth, and also giving respect to those who do the kind of minimal wage or daily wage work. It is high time that their salary gets increased so that they can also start affording better quality housing, better quality food. People have to also, those who are builders of homes, they have to start thinking better of how to make it a more balanced ecosystem related housing, how to make a housing such that it doesn't get polluted easily, or it stays clean and eco-friendly and earth-friendly. So everyone who has some skill doesn't have necessarily have to bring that skill out via just monetary help. You can bring it out via helping create a better earth by designing something. If your skill is to design, you start designing something better, even if you are poor. If your skill is to provide something, then you the provision doesn't have to be a material provision. Your provision can be an educational one, your provision can be a spiritual one, your provision can be a emotional one for your partner. So many men who are in their middle ages and are single and are lonely and do want a quality relationship, if you go after those women who just look beautiful, who just look enchanting, charming, everything that outwardly attracts you towards them, but if you don't do the deeper delving to see, is this the person who's right for me? Are you going to get a good quality life partner if you only fall for the outward trappings of a person and aren't looking at the deeper inner things? And even if you do look at the deeper inner things also, have you delved deeper inside yourself to understand, are you the right person for her? Are you able to be are you ready to provide in the emotional? Because right now many women who are earning, who have a financial independence of some sort, do not seek material help from their men. They want spiritual help. They want a spiritual partnership where together they can jointly do something spiritually together. They want emotional partnership, that if they fall sick, are their partners able to emotionally take care of them, like how a woman is usually taking care of a man or a child or of other families. Because it's also time for people who have not received the love that they deserve to start receiving the right kind of loves, and also time for people who have been spoilt by a lot of love, had a lot of love in their life, to start giving that love in the appropriate ways to those who don't have that love in their life. So, as a part of Ascension, this is what Ascension love, even twin flame love, is about. If you are a twin flame, you've realized you're a twin flame, your people are telling you to do something called inner work. This is part of the inner work, to expand your circle of love, to expand your circle of loving to people more than simply your twin flame, to other planetary creatures, other planetary life forms, loving and respecting, learning about loving, respecting, harmonizing, feeling at peace, giving peace, bringing joy in your life and giving it to someone else. These are the things we have to learn first and relearn, because many of us didn't get to learn the right way of loving, the right way of harmonious living from our parents, because they also ancestrally didn't get it from their parents. And every generation, if there is one generation where only one parent didn't show good quality love, then the next generation comes where both parents were absent in providing good quality love. What keeps happening generation after generation? We are learning how not to love at a deeper, meaningful level. So if you have to learn again how to love at a deeper, meaningful level, you have to now slowly build it up. If you didn't learn it from your family, or if it doesn't come naturally from within your heart, because you blocked your heart chakras, you blocked your perception chakras about love. And that's why also, as part of Ascension, people say to connect more with nature, to connect more with hobbies that can bring up the joy within us, to do meditation practices, to do exercise again, so that our chakras can get cleaned in the physical toxin aspects. So if you can reduce and release and let go of the toxins in your personal life, physical health, emotional health, mental health, and slowly layer by layer you have to do it, because some of us have a lot of toxin burden on us from many different reasons. So only step by step can we get towards a more evolved way of being and living and coexisting with a partner or a group of friends or a social circle. Whatever is your aspiration or inner soul need, you can do it, you can achieve it, but you have to also understand the needs of others at the deeper level, like how God or nature is always present around us. If you can be that kind of a friend or that kind of a partner who is always there for your partner, then only you can receive that same thing from your partner. Or if you have received it for so many years from your partner, where they were always there for you, for your ambition, for your whatever your needs and desires were in a relationship, if they have given you whatever you have asked of them, maybe it's time for you to give it to them, what they haven't maybe asked and what maybe you didn't ever realize, but now it's time for you to realize about it. And it works both ways. We are anytime one partner is failing to give something that the other needs, usually it is most of the times the other partner is also failing to give what the other person needs. So figuring out what does the other person need by asking them, if they don't answer, by understanding them, if you're not able to understand, then only maybe it is the time to reflect whether this is the right partnership for you, this is the right relationship for you. And you have to do it again mutually. If you do it in a way where it's not mutual, then it usually leads to much more heartbreak and much more darker karmic imprint with them. So if you can resolve the conflicts or breakups also as meaningfully as possible, that is also one way of ascending. If you can figure out how to easily or softly or gently or caringly break up with each other, which maybe you didn't do when you were in the relationship with them, even that would help in at least easing the pain of the separation and everything else that's associated with the divorce or separation from a partner. So I hope this was meaningful to you, and if you have any questions, please post any comments and I would be happy to answer them. Thank you.